Good morning. Had a little difficulty getting started this morning with the new YouTube interface, but here we are. And, there's so many things that we could say as we approach meditation, but I think the thing that I want to just offer today is let's just return to a simple body and breath meditation. And I think it's really important that you have a safe home base in your practice, and that's kind of the safe home base in mindfulness practice is paying attention to body and breath. And it does open up many possibilities, especially as we move throughout our day, a sense of being present, a sense of being open to what's occurring right now, ready, receptive, responsive. And so let's just go there. And there's been so much good stuff written. I do want to mention just a few things. One is that, and I've mentioned this before, if you want guidance, there's all kinds of ways to get that guidance for meditation practice. There's even apps these days that are, some of them, very useful. One of my favorites is one called Headspace, which I know many people. I haven't used it. I didn't feel the need, but many people who have used it have reported to me that it's just really a nice kind of patient guide into a deeper and deeper practice, kind of little steps at a time. It has a cost. I think it's, not expensive, but it has a cost. And there's also an app called Insight Timer, which has a lot of nice features, one of which is just basically providing a timer so that you can begin and end meditation consistently, with a nice sound. Also, that app has access to like hundreds of recorded meditations, so you can try different things. Again, I believe that since meditation is a practice, and I read a Jon Kabat-Zinn quote, another great author, by the way, and a great guide, the other day, that said, when we slow down and pay attention to boredom, it suddenly becomes very interesting. So, I would tend to advise people, especially at the beginning of a meditation practice, to keep it simple and don't try to get fancy. Don't look for thrills or things that are, super entertaining. It's really all about a sustaining awareness that's gained through practice. And like many forms of practice, there's a certain element of repetition and even like a boredom that can enter in, or it may seem not so exciting, not so thrilling, not so much to talk about. And so I think that's a really helpful approach, is to build a foundation with something simple like body and breath. So let's go right into that. And the purpose for us doing this is that it just helps to not have to be alone when practicing. It helps to know that you're with some other people as you practice. And so it's nice to have you here. It's nice to know that literally right now there's probably, several 100,000 people, if not more, slowing down, paying attention to the moment, trying to bring a kind, non-judgmental awareness into their lives. And so, we form kind of a human community of people who are just trying to nurture. And everything that comes from that is pretty profoundly meaningful and helpful. We could talk more about that later. So here we go. This is a 10-minute brief body and breath meditation. So beginning with a simple intention to be present to this moment, and beginning by noticing how you're sitting, and seeing if you can find the posture that you intend to have. And through the course of this meditation, you can always check in with your posture and bring it to where you intend it to be. And noticing the sense of the ground beneath you, the sense of gravity and weight in the body, where you connect to the floor with your feet, into what you're sitting on. And seeing if it's possible to begin to notice all the various sensations that come from the body, that are held in the body, bringing awareness to what's already there. And using awareness to scan the different parts of the body for a little while until we come to a sense of the whole body with heightened awareness, starting with the feet. Perhaps wiggling your toes, settling them down, and then noticing the sensations on the surface of the feet, where the heel and the ball and the toes meet the floor, the arch, the tops of the feet. And then adding to that the ankles and the calves and the shins, and noticing all of those sensations held in awareness. And noticing we can add the knees. And all of the upper leg, the bottom of the leg, the sides and the top, the thighs. Noticing the sensations within the legs and on the surface. And then adding the hips and the whole of the pelvic area, so that now everything below the waist is held in a spotlight of awareness, taking it all in. Some sensations stronger, some not so strong. There might even be a sensation of pulsing or vibration. And then adding the abdomen, where there's typically movement that also registers in the lower back, the ribs and the rib cage, and the chest, the middle of the back and the top of the back with the shoulder blades and the shoulders. And adding the arms, noticing the upper arm, the biceps, the elbows, forearms, noticing your hands, all the complexity of sensation that's there. It's a lot of awareness to take in, so just letting it come to you. Then adding the neck, the throat, the whole of the face, including the jaw, the lips, cheeks, cheekbones, eyes, brow, temples, ears, and the whole of the scalp. So that now in this moment, the whole of your body is in your awareness, and seeing if it's possible to be curious about what the body is sensing, allowing it to be just as it is. And then becoming aware that the body spontaneously on its own, without any direction from you, is breathing. There's sensations in the nose where you breathe in and out. There's a rise and fall in your abdomen and chest, expansion in your rib cage. And seeing if it's possible for a period of silence to notice the sensations of breath just as they occur, moment by moment, breath by breath. And you know what to do if your mind pulls you away. Just gently come back. The breath is always available if thoughts, dreams, worries, concerns. You can always return. It's always there for you. So, in this meditation, you practice awareness of the present moment in body and breath for a brief period of time, which represents a choice to embrace life right here, right now, breath by breath, moment by moment. Thank you for showing up. And there's a couple of things that may come of our practice. One is if we practice being fully present, number one, there's a spontaneous kind of interest and curiosity that replaces automatic judgment, which kind of, I mean, you could describe as like a film over life. It's almost like life is wrapped in a plastic film that doesn't allow you to really experience it. We're kind of removing that in this practice, and we're just opening up. So there's a spontaneous interest, curiosity, openness to what's here right now, moment by moment. And that can open us up to an authentic experience of gratitude. Something as simple as just like, I didn't really decide to be here, but here I am. And with all its difficulty, life still has many wonderful possibilities. I'm hoping that your practice opens you up to the possibilities of this day, the possibilities of connecting to self and connecting to others, even just the possibility of solitude, of quiet, of openness, curiosity, letting things go, letting things be as they are, as a starting point. Also remember reading an article. There's lots of research into mindfulness practice, and I just kind of try to keep reading stuff because it's interesting and encouraging. One of the articles that I read was some research that identified that people who practice mindfulness don't actually stop worrying. But what the finding was that worry actually might become useful. A certain amount of worry could even be useful if it's held in a different way, if there's a different foundation for that part of us. We just tend to over-identify with the worrying part as if it's all there is. So what if the worrying part of me is actually itself kind of held with a sense of curiosity and openness? Because worry does represent something inside of me that cares about how things go, that cares about my own personal fate and the fate of others and the events of life. And I don't ever want to pretend that mindfulness is like a way of hiding from life, a retreat. It's actually engagement at the deepest level. So, just some things to reflect on. Thank you again for being here. I'll be here tomorrow morning. And feel free to share this with anyone that you think might find it useful. Talk to you later. Bye.